Well, stand up and stretch, turn to your neighbor and say, I hate when people make me turn to my neighbor and say things. Test. 1, 2, 3. That's it. No one stood, no one turned to their neighbor. What kind of a truth?
You don't like our neighbor.
Hate your neighbor as you hate yourself. Is that kind of idea?
Something like that.
Well, thanks for coming out to Shine, and I love everybody. It's good to see you all here. As you know, this is a place about lifting up people, about inspiring you and I to see not only the greatness in each one of us, in a sense, not even the potential, because in one sense, you and I are already complete. We have been made complete in love by the Creator of the universe, and by His love for us, which is never ending, never changing, never failing. There is never a moment where He didn't love you. There'll never be a moment where He won't love you. And there should never be a moment where you can't see ourselves, where we can't see ourselves through that love. And in our hardest places, as that song just said, that whatever we've gone through in our life, and I know that a lot of us have gone through some hard things, and I know that a lot of us are going through hard things right now, that there is not a moment, there's not a tear, there's not a heartache that God can't use and bring joy into our lives. And I know that some of the pain that some of us have gone through have been really, really difficult. And I'm not saying that God put us through that, because that's just insane. To tell anybody that God would put somebody through something to try to make them a better person. Well, I'm going to give you cancer to make you a better person. Well, I'm going to, kill your mom to make you a better person. That's just, we arrest people who do things like that. If I went and killed one of my children and said, well, I did that to make your brother better. Killed my daughter and said, well, I wanted to make your brother stronger. You would arrest me. But yet people get up in churches and preach that stuff. That's not the case at all. But the reality is that no matter what you and I go through in our lives, that God's love can turn everything to good. God's love can turn everything you've been through to good, including our worst mistakes, our biggest failures, the thing that you've hidden in your heart that you feel ashamed of. You don't need to feel ashamed anymore, because God takes that and turns it into something beautiful. There's nothing that He doesn't turn into something beautiful, because you and I are beautiful. And in His eyes and through His view of life, the way He sees us as beautiful. Faith, as I always tell us and remind us, is seeing things the way God sees them. Whenever you're reading the scripture and you see the word faith, you just say it. Just say, seeing things the way God sees them. Through faith, he says, nothing is impossible. Seeing things the way God sees them, everything is possible to you. When you begin to see, and I begin to see things the way God sees them, everything changes. And it starts with seeing ourselves the way God sees us. The more clearly, now listen to this, the clearer you see yourself through heaven's eyes, the clearer you will see this world through heaven's eyes. It starts with you. Like Shannon was just joking about hating our neighbor. That it is a reality that as long as you don't see yourself beautiful, you can't see other people beautiful. And the truth is, you can't really even experience God. You can only experience Him in a small way. And so you and I are learning to see ourselves through heaven's eyes and believing what God says about us. Most people in church today, in church world or religion, are very, very arrogant. They're not humble at all. Now, they preach humility, and they think that humility means telling people that they're less, reminding people that God is huge and they are nothing. And the more we can embrace our nothingness, the more humble we are. But that's not humility, because that's not what God says about you. That's not heaven's view of you. Heaven's view of you is that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That you've been made one with God, as Jesus prayed and said, Father, make us one. Just like you and I are one, just like means exactly. Just like you and I are one, let them be one with us. So if we believe anything less than that, what we're saying is, I appreciate your nice thoughts, God, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You're just not as smart as you think you are. You don't know me, God. I'm actually a total mess up. You don't know me. I am like religion says. I am nothing. I'm lowly. I'm insignificant. You just don't know me. God's saying, no, you're something. You're amazing. You're one with me. I see you exactly the way I see Jesus. We are one. Yeah, but I can't accept that. Well, you need to humble yourself. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God and believe what God believes about you. And when you can believe what God believes about you, then you'll be humble. When you can actually believe that you are one with the Creator, when you can actually see yourself that way, you'll realize that you now have become humble. You start to become humble. Now, I've been talking this week, the last couple of weeks, about divine moments. Divine moments. And as you know, and I've shared this before, I came out of the hyper-charismatic, full-on, Pentecostal movement. Praying for people, laying hands on people, people falling out, people speaking in tongues, people barking like dogs, people flipping around, people doing all kinds of wild stuff. And I'm not preaching against that today. I'm not talking against it today. What I am saying is that it can kind of create, it can create sometimes in some people, of course, a spiritual craziness, where everything that happens is somehow connected to God. Not in a connection of the world sense, but that everything happens as God. You create this, everything that happens is God. You get up in the morning and there's no Cheerios. Oh, God didn't want me to have Cheerios today. He wants me to have cornflakes. So you have the cornflakes and then there's no milk. And you go, I better go to the store. And on the way to the store you get a flat tire. Well, God must be wanting me to stop here because you met a man. And you start living like that. Where everything that happens to you is something that God put into your life. And that's where you get that theology where then suddenly you get cancer, you get sick, or something. Oh, this is God too. Everything's God. It's just que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. And it's just one step after another. The good things that happen, oh, that's God. And then the bad things that happen, then you go, well, that's not very nice of God to do that. But you hold it in, and you say, well, He must have a bigger purpose for killing my cat and causing my child to die. There must be a bigger purpose. But all the time you're getting angry inside. But then something good happens, and oh, that was God again, and you're so happy again. And of course, you're never allowed to take credit for anything. Right? Because if you take credit for something, oh my goodness, then you are stealing God's glory. Because God is so jealous of His glory. God wants all the credit. I must have all the credit. And we preach that stuff like that sounds normal, because it does if you say the right words. Don't touch the glory. Don't steal the glory. And it sounds kind of holy. But what are you saying? God won't share the credit? God doesn't want anyone to get any credit but Him. What if I did that? What if now, anything that happens good and shine, I'm the only reason. You have nothing to do with it. It's all me. In fact, anything that happens good in your life is all me. So if something good happens in your life, I'm just going to say that's because you listen to my messages. That's why that happened. The only reason. And I don't ever want you to say it was you. Always say it was Jeremy. You go, what a megalomaniac. What a crazed loon. But then we put that on God. But the reality is that we do have, because we are born of the divine, we do connect in a supernatural divine way. And it doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to be weird, and it doesn't have to be going to get Cheerios. It doesn't have to be weird stuff. It can be really cool stuff. And so I went through real quick, and I just said that when these divine moments come, I said, number one, we need to recognize them. We need to be wise, right? In other words, don't be foolish, don't be silly. Everything is not God. Every meeting and every chance you have is not God. Everything that happens in your life is not God. Most of it's you. But you have God in you. But it's not some crazy supernatural thing other than you're supernatural. At the same time, we don't want to be cynical. We want to recognize it when it happens. When I met my wife, it was a divine moment. And I told the story of how the fog came in. I saw her across the room. The fog came in. The lights went low. It came into a glowy, furry thing. Everything got soft and beautiful. I was instantly in love. You see it in the movies. You don't believe it. I don't believe it either. But everything aligned. The stars aligned, as they say. The planets aligned. The fog came in, and it was a divine moment. And we were married within 3 months. And the only reason we waited so long is because we didn't want to freak people out. Yeah? So we want to be wise about it, but we don't want to be cynical either. We want to recognize divine moments. Then we want to act on divine moments. Because sometimes things happen, and then you kind of go, oh, and you don't want to act. Because you go, I don't know if I want to, something amazing happens. You think, oh my goodness. I told you the story about running into a guy that Carrie and I have been trying to get together with, trying to hook up with, trying to talk to. We've been trying to reach him through Facebook, trying to reach him through all these ways. We couldn't figure out how to reach him. We got in the car, we drove down into our little town, and there he was walking across the street. And we had to grab the moment. We had to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe there he is. And we just rolled down the window. Hey, you, I want to talk to you. And you got to just step into divine moments sometimes. Don't pull back from it, but step into them. Step into divine moments. The next thing I said is we ought to expect them. And I told you, why not you? The reason we should expect divine moments is because we're born of the divine. Because you and I are divine people. And everywhere you go, you carry this divine spark. Everywhere you go, you are a source of light and energy and power and greatness and healing and love. Think of the world and how many people feel unloved, and you carry love in you. The book of wisdom, the Bible says that God shined his love into our hearts. We're not even trying to love with our love. It's not even like we're trying to, I love you, I'm trying to love you. We actually have God's very love inside of us. The love that God loved us with is in you now. You have it. You're made of that stuff. But I always tell people, the very atmosphere of heaven, which is love, is inside of you. The stuff they breathe in heaven, which is love, is inside of you. And every moment you have, in one sense, is a divine moment. Not a goofy moment, not a super spiritual moment, but just you. In all your power, in all your glory, connecting with people, talking to people, meeting people, grabbing onto things, speaking to people. Now, we don't always do this. Sometimes we get mad at the girl at the Starbucks. Sometimes we get mad at the guy at the, you go through the Jack in the Box or whatever, the fast food restaurant you eat, and the person comes up and goes, I'll have the cheeseburger. A cheeseburger. Taco? No cheeseburger. 2 tacos? No, 1 cheeseburger. And you start to, let's start over. 3 cheeseburger? No! Start over. You start to, and you're not having a real divine moment at that time, are you? And then you drive up and they give you the 2 tacos and the shake and the burger that you didn't order. And no, I didn't order this. And they look at you like, well, why didn't you tell me? And you just, you just want to take out the gun, shoot the clown, drive up. Has somebody done a video of that, by the way? Somebody should. We go to a Jack in the Box, by the way, that's right by a freeway. So not only do we have the clown and the terrible speaker, but we have freeway cars going by. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, but you and I are divine. So every moment it doesn't feel divine. Every moment isn't experiencing divine. So when we don't feel like it, then you don't sell yourself on a story that's a lie. When you feel down, when things aren't going your way, don't sell yourself a story of, well, I must not be that. Well, I must not really have God. Well, God must not really love me. What's wrong with my life? What's wrong with me? The last thing you should ever ask yourself, this is going to help. The last thing you should ever ask yourself is, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are you. And unless you're pretending to be someone else, which a lot of times we do, there's nothing wrong with you. Unless you've convinced yourself of a lie about you, there's nothing wrong with you. The true you is magnificent. The true you is spectacular. The true you is filled with divine love, healing, blessing. The very words out of your mouth are blessings. That's why the book of wisdom says, he says, out of our mouths flow blessing and cursing. You have the power to bless someone, or you have the power to curse someone. And not curse them meaning you say something about it and God goes, yes, and I will curse them too, for you. But you fill their hearts with blessing, or you fill people's hearts with cursing. You fill your own mind with blessing, or you fill your own mind with cursing. Because when you speak blessing over your life, when you speak about your life, when you see your life through the eyes of heaven, you speak it and see it as a blessing. And any moment you want to, you can turn around and curse your own life. You can curse anything you want in your life. You can curse your relationships. You can curse your finances. You can curse your talent, your gifts. You can curse your marriage. You can curse your kids. You can see them at any moment and speak about them at any moment as if they are a curse. But at any moment, you could just turn it and speak the truth the way God sees them. And you'll bless. You'll bless. You'll bless people. You know, a lot of people have never been blessed. I'm gonna spend this whole weekend, I'm going to bless people. That's what I'm going to do. Everywhere I go, and I do this normally, but I'm going to be a little more purposeful about it. And I'm going to bless people. I've been with Carolee before sometime. She'll just walk up to somebody, and there'll be somebody there just, like at the, Starbucks, probably. But wherever we are, and she'll just say, oh, I love your hair. It looks so pretty. Well, you have beautiful eyes, she'll say to somebody. And I get a little upset because, why she flirt with this guy. So, no, just kidding. But she'll say, you have beautiful eyes to some girl, and the girl's face would just light up. How many times has a stranger ever walked up to you and just blessed you? I mean, if you're a male model like me, it happens all the time. But for those of you out there who know, how many times has somebody just walked up and just said something? I mean, once in a while, right? And it feels great. And you go, oh, no, that's not, I'm good. But inside you're going, really? Is that me? You love me. You want to marry me. So you feel that thing, right? It's powerful. It's powerful to bless people. And it's powerful to bless yourself. Speak great about yourself. Bless yourself. So I said, why not you? And I said this, and I've said this before, but I love this line that reminds me all the time. That people love you and want to bless you. People love you and want to bless you. I tell myself this all the time. People love me and want to bless me. And they say, well, that sounds really arrogant. No, it doesn't. It's so funny how people don't believe in receiving, but they believe in giving. They don't believe in being blessed, but they believe in blessing. But doesn't that put the receiver in kind of an awkward situation? Like if I give something to somebody, they have to receive, don't they? So if well, you just want to receive something, well, you just want to be blessed. But if I bless you, you are going to be blessed. Aren't I putting you kind of in a bad? There's always has to be two. The giver and the receiver. And the truth is that both of you receive. The giver receives the joy of giving. The giver receives the response. The giver receives the feeling of abundance. One of the greatest things about giving, and one of the reasons Carolee and I always give, is we love the empowering of ourselves to be abundant. We like the feeling that we have abundance. Even when we don't have abundance, we like to feel we have abundance. Because we're not buying a story that we're lacking anything. We're buying the story that at any moment, everything we need is going to be there when we need it. So we like that experience in our minds and in our hearts, that we are people of abundance. Whether we have it in a bank account right now, or in the house right now, or at our disposal, or in our hands right now, when we need it, it's going to be there. We are abundant people. And when you give, you remind yourself, I'm not lacking anything. Most people don't want to give. And I'm not even talking necessarily about money, but everything. But definitely money, because money gets to the heart of everybody's difficulty. You can walk up to somebody and say, I just want to, I want all your heart, okay. I want all your love, okay. I want all your gifts and talents, okay. I want all your money. What is that in us? We get very nervous about that. What do you mean my money? Why you can't have my money? You're after my money. Why is money so touchy? Well, for whatever reason it is, but the biggest reason is a fear. We are afraid of it. We're afraid of losing it. We're afraid of running out of it. We're afraid we'll never have any anymore. And so people love you and they want to bless you. People love you and want to bless you. Then I talked about creating divine moments. And I said that you are a divine moment. You are a divine moment. Every moment, in every place you go, you are somebody else's divine moment. And I told you that story about the little girl running into the owner of the Chicago Cubs. You remember that story? The girl goes down and she runs into the owner of the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. And she wants to go to Africa. And she needs about $800 to go to Africa. And so she sees him across the room, and so she goes running down I guess they have, what do they call them, like the ramps, She goes running down the ramp of the stadium, and she's yelling his name. Hey, Mr. whatever his name is, Stevens, or whatever his name is. I should have looked it up. That was cool, but I didn't. Hey, Mr. Stevens, whatever this owner is, he stops, and the bodyguards are there, and they kind of step forward. He goes, that's okay, it's okay. And she says, I'm so glad I got to meet you. I'm going to Africa, and I need $800 because I'm gonna help some poor people over there get some water and grow some food, and my church is doing it. And I just need $800, and I just want to let you know that. So he starts talking to her, and he's asking her all about Africa and what she wants to do with her life, and why is she going, and about her church, and he's asking all these questions. So afterwards he goes, okay. He goes, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He says, you send me an email. Let me give you my private email. He gives her his private email number. He says, there's my email number. Email me. He goes, I'll turn this over to somebody, and I'll have them look at it, and I'll have them look at this project and see what it's about. And if I feel okay about it, I'll give it to you. So she's telling me this story, this girl. And I thought, that's a great story, right? It's a beautiful story. This guy's going to probably help her. And I felt in my heart, I heard these words. The divine connection was not for her in the $800. The divine connection is for him. That I'm going to open something amazing up to his life that he's never experienced before. It wasn't her divine moment, oh my gosh, a famous owner of a baseball team, I'm going to get my $800. The purpose of the divine connection was that he needed her. He needed to see her, he needed to hear her heart, and he needed to experience who she was. And something amazing is going to come from that. Yeah, she might get the $800, that's great. Yeah, she might go help a few people in Africa, that's great. But here's a man who can really help people. Here's a man who can really touch people's lives. And I realize he is touching people's lives. He's employing a tremendous amount of people in the stadium. He has a baseball team that makes profit. All the people that make profit around that thing, selling cards, selling pennants, selling baseballs, selling people are making a living off that man's dream. So I understand that. And I'm not limiting the greatness of what he's already done. But there's so much more he's going to be able to do. And maybe that divine spark with her, it was nothing about her. It was about what he needed. You are a divine spark. Never be afraid when you meet successful people or famous people or people who have power and think, oh, wow, they're so big, I'm so nothing. You may be the answer to their problems. You may be the divine spark that they need in their life. One word from you might be just, you have no idea where you are, where they are. You have no idea what's going on in their life. And you are a divine spark. And here's the last thought, and I'm going to close with this. Divine moments. We need to value them. We need to value divine moments. You have people in your life right now that are divine moments in your life. There are people in your life right now that God connected you to them supernaturally. Your anointing, your flow, your gifting, your light connected to their light, and you became one through friendship, through shine, through whatever it is. They are valuable to you. These people are valuable to you. And you know, one of the things that happens when we kind of get to know each other, and I was thinking about this today because I'm watching Jeff play and I'm watching Tanya, and you notice that sometimes every time we play, and I do this from my heart, it's not something that I do, it's not even something I purpose, it's actually something I feel. And there's nothing wrong with purposing, by the way. But I always say, I appreciate you guys, or tell them, thanks so much, you guys. Because I never want to get comfortable with the fact that Jeff and Tanya, for example, come here and sing. You know, Jeff is an incredible guitar player. I mean, we all know that because we hear him, but this is a guy who literally can play with the best players in the world, in the best bands. I mean, he can walk into any situation and play. And yet he comes here on Sunday morning. You know, we don't pay him. I'd love to pay him, but we don't shine him. Make that much. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Right? I figured out the other day, and I'm just going to share this, I don't think you'd mind, but I kind of figured out as long as he's been with us, if he gave me his rock bottom rate, I mean his cheapest rate to come play guitar for me, he's probably somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 worth of guitar work for Shine. That's what he's given us. Now $7,000 to $10,000 worth of guitar work. He never says a word about it. He never says, you know, are you ever going to pay me? I mean, I normally, I actually make a living as a guitar player. He never says a word. He gives it. He just gives it to us. And our hope is to be able to pay him really well. And if Shine changes, if the nature of it changes, and we can do that, we will. Maybe somebody will show up to Shine one day and go, I love that guy, and just give him a whole bunch of money. But he's invested somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 of guitar work just go, well, whatever. It's just another. I look at it as amazing. Tanya, before Jeff, before Jeff got her pregnant. Tanya was is a professional singer. She's a star singer, singing in blues bands. People pay to see her sing, hear her sing. We all know how good she is. I don't let her sing too much, because if she sings too much, people are going to go, why do we want to hear you ever sing again? I mean, she's amazing. She has a voice that's just, I hear her sing, and I mean, to me, she blows away Bonnie Raitt, she blows away Adele, she blows them all away. Now, she's coming out of some things with her voice, so her voice is not as strong as it is. But if you hear the tone of her voice and the texture of her voice, she could be making a lot of money. And when she comes to sing, she just sings back. She can say, shine. She sings these little things like, oh my God, I've got Bonnie Raitt singing back. I got Adele singing back. Just a great blues singer. And that's a divine. How they came into my life is so divine. We met in a Ralph's grocery store. There's nothing more divine than meeting in a Ralph's grocery store.
Amen.
By the way, about half the songs that come into Shine came through Ralph's grocery store. I'm walking through the grocery store. I'm shopping with Mom because I don't really listen to music when I'm out and about. I'm usually listening to something else. But I'll be walking along, all of a sudden I'll just hear some little sound. I'll hear it. What's that song? What is that line? That'll work for Shine. Very good. And so I get a lot of great ideas from. But we were walking through the grocery store one day, and here comes Jeff, and she starts talking to Carolee. Like, your husband, I think I know him. And they come walking up, and here's this long-haired hippie freak, and the connection. I mean, we never thought it. All we just thought is, oh, that's some cool people. Hey, we invited them to Shine. We thought, yeah, they'll never come. And and they didn't come that Sunday, and they didn't come the next Sunday, and they didn't come the next Sunday, and they didn't come the next Sunday. And all of a sudden, about 2 months later, they just walked into Shine. Oh my gosh, it's the Ralph's grocery store people. By the way, I had no idea that Tanya sang or that Jeff played guitar. Other than, somebody said he was a musician, but everybody's a musician. So he comes, and they came about every week for about 2 months. I don't know if I ever told the story. They came about every week for 2 months. Never said a word. Finally, one day, Jeff said, I'd love to sit in sometime if you want me to. And I'm thinking, okay, great. Yeah, that'd be good. Why don't we do that sometime? That'd be good. Just bring your guitar. You can sit in maybe on the last song. Last chorus will turn you down. So I have no idea what I'm getting into. But he shows up with his guitar one day, and Max, who was playing guitar for us a lot then before he got his real estate license, he wasn't there. So he just, I'm just going to sit in. Can I just sit in? I was like, sure, you don't really know the songs. I'll just watch your hands. Okay, good luck. So I thought, well, it was a small crowd. And I just start playing. And all of a sudden, Jeff starts playing. Oh my gosh! And he doesn't know the song. He's watching my hand. And he's just playing. And he's playing like he's played the song 1,000 times. He's playing like we're in a studio. And he's killing me. I'm looking over there. He's playing licks. He's playing solos. People in Shine are stunned. I don't know if anybody was there when he first came. The first time he ever played, we're just stunned. We just can't believe what just walked into our midst. And I'm looking at Carolee and we're get the contract. We gotta sign this guy. No, but he's just playing. He's just going nuts. I couldn't believe it. I called Max. I said, Max, you're out. So it was sitting up. No, that's not true. But just, I had no idea. But what a blessing he's been to us. Now he plays all the time. He's here almost every Sunday. He drags that crazy amp in here. What a gift to me personally. What a gift to Sean. And then he mentions one day, Tanya sings, oh great. I knew there was going to be a catch. Because everybody can sing. She's going to sing a song. Okay, what's the song? Some song. We should sing that, by the way, Tanya. And she comes up to sing Heavenly Day. By the way, I've never heard her sing that one. She's going to sing Heavenly Day. And so I'm going, okay, here we go. So I decided not to play. So Jeff, you guys just play. That way, if there's, if it's a mess, I'm out of it. Wasn't that nice? I wasn't on stage. Okay, we're fine. So anyway, she comes up and she opens her mouth. The voice cracks. It's that weird, freaky thing that people spend lifetimes and smoke thousands of cigarettes to try to create. And she creates it without even trying. I'm stunned again. I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh. A goddess, a vocal has just showed up in our midst. You remember the first time she sang Heavenly Day? People were stunned. They had no idea. But why not us? People love me, want to bless me. Why shouldn't they show it? But we will love them too. We just appreciate And you got to value people. It's not about walking around all the time. You're so wonderful, but it's just in your heart. Just the valuing of people, the gifts that come into your life. People have come into your life and saved your life. People have come into your life and rescued you at certain moments. I have people in my life that changed my life forever. I mean, completely changed my life. And you want to value them. And you want to bless them anytime you can. These divine moments, value these moments that happen to you. They are some of them are lifetime friendships. Some of them are life-altering experiences. Dave, you must have heard stuff before, haven't you? I mean, you must have heard somebody say something, or sat in a meeting, or experienced somebody. Come on up here for a minute, will you? Come up here, it's real quick. I want to talk to Dave real quick. Before we close this time.
Punch him in the face, Dave.
Come on up here. Dave, when are you guys leaving, by the way? It's been nice having Dave and Michelle here, hasn't it? I've offered everything to stay. I've offered them Sean. Please take it. I've offered them no. I want to talk real quick to you about this before we close this thought. These divine moments that change you forever. And I know that Dave had some moments like this in his life. Dave, if you don't know, was an Assembly of God pastor, an ordained minister, a youth pastor, studying, working to be a senior pastor in an Assembly of God church. A wonderful church, teaching, a lot of good things, but some things that we don't embrace anymore. But still, and something happened in his life that changed all. You're looking at it like, where are we going with this? Well, some things happened in his life that changed his direction completely, and eventually began to change his entire mindset. Go.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Gosh, for me, my upbringing, I didn't realize that I was loved. I mean, I remember when I was 5, and I didn't get a hold of this till later. But when I was 5, I remember my dad leaving. My parents had just got divorced. I remember my dad leaving, and I was running after him down the sidewalk, and just didn't know what love was. I mean, I thought that's what love does. It leaves. And so I kind of thought that's how God was all my life. I mean, until probably 8-10 years ago, I started realizing that God's love was unconditional, and He was unconditional. He loved me, and I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to prove myself. I didn't have to
Pray for it.
Yeah, pray for it.
Fast.
Do enough. Because that's what I was about. I mean, as a pastor,
Right.
my whole concept of God is you're not enough, and you need to do something or be something or create something or perform more in order to be loved. And I think it was that wake up, that reality that shifted the whole reality that I had, that I grew up in.
And do you remember the divine moment that really began to change, even if it was a stranger?
Well, it was a process for me.
Yeah.
I think it was having enough moments where I felt unloved that I kind of broke. It's like the 1,000 needle points to kill you instead of just one big jab. It was so many of them until it just kind of like I had a shift, a wake up. It's like, oh, wow, maybe what I've been believing all my life isn't true.
But was there somebody, and this is an interesting thought, because in these moments like he's describing, where you get to that place where you could break, you can break two different ways. You can break towards blessing, you could break towards cursing. And sometimes the right voice at that moment is the voice that breaks you towards freedom. Do you remember having a voice or a person or somebody, or just an experience with God? Maybe it was.
It wasn't a specific, I can't think of anything specifically that happened. It wasn't just, I think it was just, I had enough. It was like, this can't be who God really is. This can't be this, because like you were describing earlier, I felt like God was holding me captive in a sense of the gun to my head, saying, you're going to serve me or you're going to go to hell.
Or else. Right?
Yeah, or else. And I think it was the wake up of just realizing, is that really God?
Right.
Because it was screwing me up.
Right.
I mean, it was screwing me up. I was miserable as a pastor. Miserable as a pastor because I just didn't have any idea what really love was about. So yeah, there was no specific moment. It was just all these moments that came together, and I started questioning the theology, the thought process that I had, the mindset, the context that I had put God in, that I was taught that God was. And I think it was that idea, that questioning, and I call it now unlearning. I had to unlearn the stuff that I had learned because the stuff was poison. The stuff was poison over the truth of God's unconditional, amazing love. And it's still, you still gotta, you find it show up in your life, even today, I find it showing up when I get frustrated with something with my kids or myself or something not going the way I want it to go at the moment, then I find myself in that old mindset, and it brings me back to that awareness, like, okay, I just lost myself, just like the song.
Yeah.
Like, remind me of who I really am. It's been my journey.
So these valuings of moments and those and whether they're divine moments with people, and they usually are, or even divine moments with God. And maybe sometime I'll let each of you share. Maybe we could do a thing where we kind of just real quickly go around and just share a divine moment, something that happened. And I can remember one right now. I'll share maybe next Sunday that is just a wild moment that I had, a divine moment that really altered years of my life. I mean, you could save years of misery, years of unhappiness with the divine moment. That somebody comes into your life and says what you needed to hear at that moment. I want Shine to be that. This is what Shine is about. Where every week, and I'm just talking about different things or whatever, but that something I say penetrates the hurt in your heart. Penetrates that divine, that moment of ugliness that happened, that hurt you. And a lot of them we don't even remember. Stuff our parents said, didn't even mean to say maybe. Stuff our boyfriends or girlfriends or a teacher said to you that are deep in that subconscious, that are still kind of feeding poison into your heart and your spirit. And one word, and that's one of the reasons why I don't study a lot, by the way. People ask me, do you study a lot before you? I don't study a lot before I teach. And mostly I have one thought I want to share, and I just start speaking. And what I'm looking for, what I'm hoping for is that the God in you, the Holy Spirit in you, just as I speak, things go into your heart and help and strengthen you as well as me. And I get probably as much out of this, maybe more than you do. Just letting love speak as much as possible. And then also with second service, by the way, and I know we're getting a little off kilter here, but second service, by the way. Oh, they're good? Oh, good. We can do a last song. Also with second service, that's another opportunity for us to inspire each other. Thanks, Dave. But give Dave a hand. Hey, Dave. It's been so great having you and Michelle here. I know we have one more Sunday together, right? You and Michelle. Okay. So this may be the last time. We'll be seeing Dave and Michelle a lot because they'll come down and visit with us, but not you. But this may be the last time that you get to visit. So make sure you hang out with him a little bit. Dave is by the way, a heart coach. He does life coaching to heart coaching. That's what he does, and he's very effective at helping people tap into things that they've gone through and bringing into a place of love again through his own experiences, like he shared. But so we're going to value people in our lives and these divine moments. And even today, we got Jeff's birthday today. We're not making a big deal of it because this is not his most favorite day of the year. But it's still an opportunity for us to just tell him we love him. And tell him how much we appreciate him. And how much we appreciate Tanya and what they bring each Sunday. And you guys, I appreciate you guys. You don't realize, but every time you guys walk through the door, each one of you individually. And right now, Shine's at that place where it's small enough where, each person that comes in, it's just like, MJ! And it's like, you're a blessing to me. You're a blessing to me. Each one of you. Just that you're here. And I hope I am too. Shannon wants to say something. Go ahead, Shannon. Come on, you guys. Let's do it. Dad, come on. Come on.
Just something that you shared kind of, oh God.
No.
I think I'm loud enough.
I'll hold it here.
Oh, okay. I had a situation at work yesterday. I work in a hospital. I'm a social worker, and I just had some downtime. I was speaking to a coworker that I've worked with for over like a year and 2 months, and something where we were just talking about our personal experiences in life and what brought us to the work that we do. And some of said about different moments and little, what I call nuggets of experiences where you can be blessed or cursed, kind of adds up to changing a person's life. And that's where I think the littlest experiences you have at Starbucks can really help build someone to make it to the next day or the next hour. But when I really think about it, actually anger is what fueled me to change my life. And I just shared briefly, I had a school counselor. Her name was Miss Pavlopoulos. I still remember. She was really, really old and very old school. And she had shared to me when I was at Orange High, when I had been put back in a regular high school, my senior year, what I wanted to do when I graduated. And I had a 1.8 GPA going into my senior year. I'd been in and out and living on the streets and so forth, so I didn't really have good grades. And I told her I wanted to go to college, because every senior thinks of going to college. And she basically told me that I would be lucky if a JC would consider me on campus, and that I should apply to McDonald's and try to invest in a job now, because it's the only way I'm ever going to be made of anything. And that I might as well just, give up, because I'm a thug, basically, in so many words. And she absolutely pissed me off. And, she told me I was behind on credits, and there was no way that a college would touch me. And so my senior year, I had to be in part of like a special ROP class, where I had to work a job and be credited for the hours I worked on the job. So I worked at McDonald's and at Vaughn's, both my senior year. And so I worked like 25 to 30 hours a week between the Vaughn's and McDonald's. And then I took a full senior load of classes, and I got a 3.8 both semesters my senior year in high school. And I caught up enough to graduate in June. And everyone on campus was talking about Chapman and all these schools, and UC Santa Cruz, and
Cal State Fullerton, come on.
yeah, and they were saying Cal State Fullerton would be the only place that basically they were accepting people a dime a dozen.
Exactly.
So, I thought, well, that's probably the only place that might consider me. So I applied, and I got moved in August by my group home van. And on my birthday that year, October 8th, was on a Saturday, and my county social worker came and signed my paperwork in the dorms that I was now emancipated and no longer a ward of the court. And, for years I was very angry, and now I'm very grateful, because if she didn't piss me off, again, I could have made it into a blessing or a curse. I would not be where I'm at today. And I'm not saying that life is just grand every day that I go through, but I can tell you that statistically, I should be dead in jail or locked up in an insane asylum, and I'm not. Thank God.
What a great thought. I hope you heard that thought. It was such a powerful thought, what she said. But listen to this. What she said was so amazing. I didn't even say this, so I'm glad she shared that. That what was a moment that could have been a curse, she turned it into a blessing.
And there's times at Cal State Fullerton where it's an insane asylum.
And yes, and there's science, just to mention that too. All right, good. Did you get anything out of all that today? I hope you did. So, you sure we got nobody there, right? We can rock. Is that correct? So we're going to give Jeff a chance to just stretch out a little bit and do a little rock and roll, and then we're going to go to our second service. And Mrs. Dalton, if you could run out to the car real quick. Oh, yeah. I did too. That was really good. And I like that story, Shannon. As deep as you are ever, 'cause I am willing to make the break that we are on the breaker. My cup is on the table, love is spilling, waiting here for you to take a drink. If you're tired of the same old story, turn some pages. I'll be here if you are ready to roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. sleeping, felt the desert burning. May then be the sweet sun shower. If you're tired of the same old story, oh, turn some pages. I'll be here if you are ready to go with the changes. Go with the changes. Go with the changes. Go with the changes. You got to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Ooh, go with the changes. You got to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Ooh, go with the changes. Come on. If you're tired of the same old story, come to shine, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Let's roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. You got to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Ooh, roll with the changes. Come on now, keep on rolling. Come on now, keep on rolling. Ooh, love the changes. You got to keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Ooh, love the changes. Come on now, keep on rolling. Come on now, keep on rolling. Ooh, love the changes.
Doesn't get to do that very often.